Samsung's Galaxy Note 7 smartphone has burned a hole in the company's profit. The South Korean company reported that quarterly earnings are down almost $2 billion from this time last year.
Samsung blames the losses on its decision to kill off production of the smartphones earlier this month. The company recalled the phones after reports that they were catching fire and exploding.
Industry expert Laurie H. Schwartz is joining us now here in Los Angeles.
Laurie, welcome.
Thank you for coming in.
It's great to be here.
As far as bad news goes, is this as bad as everyone expected, or were they expecting worse?
I think this is as bad as everybody was expecting. I mean, it was such... phones were exploding. You're walking on airplanes, and now actually the FAA has said you're not even allowed to bring them on. So this is the most public recall of any handset that I can remember, and so because it's so public, I think people were expecting this.
But there's more to these numbers than meets the eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, you know, they announced a 4.6 billion profit, which to any of us would be pretty good, but it is 30% down.
But they have displays coming out. They have the most popular VR hand-mounted display out there. They have a chip that people love.
Yeah. And they're also announcing their new watch in November. So I think there's a lot of, you know, bullish things to say about Samsung. They have great products coming out. It'll just be about how they move forward from this.
And we're also seeing in this statement, in this earnings report, some indication of how Samsung plans to claw back consumer confidence.
Yeah, I think first of all, they're going to be sort of strategic, you know, using strategy around how they're going to announce the Galaxy 8, the Note 8, and that's supposed to be announced in February. So it'll be interesting to see if they still do that and what's going to happen there. And then, you know, that device, that Note, was so popular and so beloved. I mean, it's one of the reasons why Apple came out with the Plus. Right? That size was so popular. Yeah. So I think there's still consumer love for those phones. I mean, a lot of people actually haven't given them in. It's a passion point, right?
And to that point, you mentioned Apple. I mean, Samsung may be able to regain its footing, but can they take the lead again?
You know, the phone market is so saturated, and if you were reading the news about Apple's reports and everything like that, they're in a decline too, and I think it's just because the phone market is saturated, so I don't think anyone's going to really win there right now.
Is there a lesson here for other companies? Don't rush your product launch?
I think there's that. I think you have to be very careful with lithium-ion anything right now.
That's the other lesson.
Right.
And if you do have a problem, maybe respond better?
Respond better. I think we are now in a culture where the consumer wants transparency, and I think the more transparent you are, the more that brand will stay in your heart, even if they make a mistake.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, and still amongst all this, Samsung stock is going up. So
yeah, well, so the vice chairman who actually initiated the recall, who's the heir apparent to becoming chairman, is actually being announced to their board tomorrow. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Laurie, thanks so much.
No, very much appreciated.
Pleasure.
Thank you.